Nowadays, I see a lot of youngsters who never sleep on time. They sleep so late and then they come to me asking about treatments for their under eye dark circles.
Is HIFU a painful procedure?
But in some patients, it can feel a little sensitive, especially if you have some fillings.
Do non-surgical options give similar results as the surgical facelifts?
Proper care right from your 30s can really help ensure that you don't age at the same rate as what your parents did.
What is the ideal age to start with Botox, filler, or collagen supplements or anti-aging supplements?
So there are certain aspects of the face which are genetic and it's not something you can really change. It doesn't matter what your genes are. You are ultimately going to look 10 years older than what you should.
If someone's parents aged quickly, are they destined to follow the same path, or can they take a preventive measures for it?
If you ask me personally, I feel it's difficult to quantitate. How do you know? Hello everyone. I welcome you all to another episode of Podcast with Dr. T. And in today's session, we are going to talk about some questions about how to get a youthful appearance to the skin. So Ananya, you have some questions for me?
Yes, sir. So, what does looking younger really means in today's world, and how someone can achieve it without going overboard?
See, youthfulness or looking young is a combination of two things. One is the skin, and the second is the structure of the face. So, skin wise, one should aim to have a skin which is flawless, which means there are no pigmentary changes or freckles or wrinkles on the skin, so that texture wise the face looks youthful. And second thing which makes us look youthful is the structure of the face. So, the face should be nice and taut, it should not have any sagging lines. It should not have too much of volume, so not too much of fat or chubbiness in the middle part of the face or in the double chin. So both of these parameters, the skin and the structure, they play a very important role in what we call as a youthful face. Now going overboard is something which we all need to take care of when we consult a patient. We need to understand what procedures are appropriate for a patient and then make a customized plan. I don't believe that just because we have different machines, all these machines are for each and every patient. We have to customize a treatment plan which is going to be like an individualized thing for that particular patient, and therefore going overboard is something which shouldn't generally happen.
And can you explain the aging process, like how it impacts on our skin and appearance over time?
What happens is, as we continuously get exposed to sun rays or to UV rays in bright lights, the aging is a continuous process which is going to happen. So the pigmentary changes start happening when we reach our 30s or 40s. Then beyond that, the deeper layers of the face, such as the superficial musculo-aponeurotic system or the SMAS layer, it starts sagging, and therefore there are laugh lines, marionette lines. These start coming up. There may be lines or wrinkles in the neck that come up. So a youthful face basically will need a lot of maintenance so that the skin remains protected and does not develop pigmentary changes, and the tissues also remain in a good condition, and we can take the help of surgical and non-surgical modalities to maintain the facial appearance.
So, sir, I see a lot of patients coming in for a
Yeah.
thread lift procedure. So, like, what exactly this procedure is?
Thread lift is a procedure which is like a lunchtime procedure for lifting the face. If someone is between 35 to 45 where some amount of sagging has just started to come and they are not yet candidates for a surgical face lifting, what is the in between treatment? So that in between treatment is something called as a thread lift. The current generation of threads that we use are called as fourth generation of threads. Now these threads are not like plain strings. If this is the thread, there are multiple cogs on the thread. So the function of these cogs is they lock on the undersurface of the skin, and when we pull the thread, the entire skin gets lifted along with these threads. So these threads are made of a dissolving material called as PLA PCl. So the longevity is around 2 years to 2.5 years. By the end of the 2.5 year period, the threads would have dissolved and you may need to do the threads again. These threads are very very safe, and they are done under local anesthesia depending on where exactly the patient has sagging, because sometimes there may be sagging in the mid face, sometimes there may be in the lower face. So depending on that we determine the number of threads and the positioning of the threads. For mid face, the threads are positioned through the sideburn, and for the lower part of the face, the positioning can be lower down.
What is HIFU and how does it help in facial agings?
Well, HIFU stands for high intensity focused ultrasound. So this is a non-invasive treatment. There is no cutting or there is no surgery involved. In HIFU, what we do is we apply a gel on the face, and then the machine has a handpiece which delivers ultrasonic energy. Now this ultrasonic energy can be controlled in a way that we determine how deep to go, this depending on the type of skin that the patient has, and if we can also control the power or how many joules of energy are being delivered to the deeper layers of the face. So these treatments are essentially to tighten the collagen fibers in our skin. What happens is our skin is like an elastic. So as we age, the skin loses its elasticity, and then the collagen fibers have all got longer in length, and that's why the face becomes saggy. The treatment of tightening of the skin, such as HIFU, is essentially going to work on these collagen fibers. So if your collagen fibers are of this length, it will shorten or tighten the collagen fibers so that overall the face would look tighter, it would look leaner. That is the main purpose of this.
And is HIFU a painful procedure?
Normally, no, meaning we don't even apply a numbing cream for doing this treatment. But in some patients, it can feel a little sensitive, especially if you have some fillings in your teeth. So these dental fillings are made of metal most of the time, and when ultrasonic energy hits on the metal area, it can cause a little bit of tingling sensation. Sometimes HIFU can feel a little uncomfortable on the bony areas. In just the skin and the muscle areas, there is no pain involved.
Do non-surgical options give similar results as the surgical facelifts?
Not really, because these are two totally different treatments. When we talk of non-surgical modalities, be it HIFU, be it threads, we are talking about tightening the skin. And when we talk of surgical modalities such as a facelift, we are tightening the deeper layers of the face. So both are not really the same thing. The advantage of a non-surgical treatment lies in the downtime, because there is no downtime, there is no redness. So these are now called as lunchtime procedures. People can come do it and go back to the office. But a surgical facelift, though it has a longer recovery time, at least 10-15 days, the overall longevity of a surgical facelift is much better. We can easily expect the results to last for 8 to 10 years. And therefore, if you are someone who has reached maybe 45-50 kind of age bracket, then a surgical facelift makes more sense, because it will last you for a good 10-15 years. If you are someone who's young and who's still not a candidate for a surgical lift, then yes, to tide over this intervening period, you can think of a non-surgical alternative. But ultimately, the surgical facelift is what all of us are going to need.
If someone's parents age it quickly, are they destined to follow the same path, or can they take a preventive, measures for it?
Well, facial aging definitely has a genetic composition, and there are a lot of studies which have been done to show that. Because ultimately, the layers of our skin, in terms of the thickness of tissues, is genetic. Then again, the way fat deposition happens in our face, that is genetic. So there are certain aspects of the face which are genetic, and it's not something you can really change, because your genes are designed or programmed that way. But then there are certain aspects such as proper skincare routine, proper maintenance of body weight, which you can follow to maintain the youthful appearance. Because if you have too much of weight fluctuation, it doesn't matter what your genes are, you are ultimately going to look 10 years older than what you should. So proper care right from your 30s can really help ensure that you don't age at the same rate as what your parents did. And plus, remember, the modalities that we have now, they were never there, they were not even invented when our parents were of the same age.
So why do often hands age faster than the face, and how are the fats filler differ from other fillers, and what makes them effective or a more youthful appearance?
It is not that hands always age faster than the face. Sometimes hands age faster than the face. Most of the times, the aging is a phenomena which affects both the areas equally. But having said that, fat has a consistency which is similar to our natural tissues. So when fat is grafted, be in the back of the hands or any areas of the face, it tends to look very natural. It does not look uneven, it does not cause any bluishness like a filler sometimes does. So fat, in my opinion, makes you look very very natural and refreshed. And plus, the greatest advantage with fat is that fat has lot of regenerative cells or stem cells, which fillers don't have. So fat is not only for volume, it is also for rejuvenation. And by rejuvenation, it means going back or turning back the clock. So if you have pigmentary changes, or if you have fine lines which are coming up, the regenerative cells in the fat will actually reverse these signs of aging, so that volume wise also you look better, and texture wise the skin also starts looking better.
So, what is the ideal age to start with Botox filler or collagen supplements or anti-aging supplements?
Well, Botox is something which is for dynamic lines of the face. So, if you are starting to get lines when you do some kind of action, and those lines are starting to bother you now, then yes, it is a time to do Botox. So, normally this would be around your 30s. Before 30s, I don't think anyone has too much of lines on the face. Then the second thing you ask is collagen. Well, collagen. There are both the schools of thought, as regards collagen. Some people believe that collagen is something which will slow down our skin aging, but there are others who say that collagen is not that effective. If you ask me personally, I feel it's difficult to quantitate. How do you know that collagen has prevented a wrinkle which is not there in the first place? So if you want to take collagen, you can take it with a positive mind that okay, it is something which is going to help me. But then you need to take it in the proper dosage and for requisite amount of time. Only then you'll start seeing a difference in your skin. If you take it for too short a term, maybe you'll not see much of a difference.
What are some of the newest technologies or treatment that can help people look younger in years ahead?
Well, there are many exciting and new treatments which are coming up, and I'm very excited about exosome treatment. Well, exosomes are basically lab manufactured regenerative cells like DNAs and RNAs, and they are injected in the skin layer using a derma pen by doing microneedling, and just the application of these cells is what rejuvenates the skin. And we have been using exosomes for the past few months now, and we have seen really good effect on the under eye dark circles or on skin pigmentation with these exosomes. So exosomes is one thing which is exciting. Then there are other types of fillers which are coming up, which are basically are like permanent fillers, and they are for structural changes in the face. They are not made of hyaluronic acid, they are made of different kinds of materials such as PLA, polylactic acid, which remains for much longer, and plus it gives much better support to the skin, and it does not make the skin look plumpish, or it does not make the face look bloated. So yes, there are many such modalities which are coming up.
Okay, so if you could recommend just one thing listeners should do today to look and feel younger, what it would be?
Well, take care of your skin and take care of your facial appearance. Be regular with your sunscreen, and sleep on time. Nowadays, I see a lot of youngsters who never sleep on time. They sleep so late, and then they come to me asking about treatments for their under eye dark circles. Well, the treatment is with you. Sleep on time, and you will not have dark circles. So I feel getting adequate rest, drinking plenty of water, and basic care such as application of sunscreen is the least that you can do for yourself. So I hope you found this podcast to be informative. If you have any other questions related to youthful appearance of the face or on facial aging, do feel free to comment in the comment box, and then we'll be happy to include your topics in our next upcoming podcast. Till then, stay tuned.